Okay, what's going on? Vincent Repisardi, BigBlueUnbiased.com. Thank you to those who have liked, commented, and subscribed. I appreciate you guys. If you guys can give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I don't care. Whatever reaction you got, tell me if this video is good or if it sucks. Either way, I appreciate the reaction, comment, whatever it might be. Okay, and if you're subscribed, make sure you set notifications so that you can come in and you can tell me how good or terrible my video is every single time that I post. I try and post every single day. Yesterday we did a video about Carter Blount, who the Giants hired to be their defensive quality control coach. Something like that. They hired him to that position. He was with Tennessee. He was under Jeremy Pruitt, who's now with the Giants. A Joe Judge connection as well. They were together at Alabama because, of course. So that's that. That's the latest update. Didn't do a mock draft yesterday, but we're back. We're back with the mock drafts. And it really isn't a mock draft. It's just us going over players who the Giants could potentially take and just learning a little bit more. Learning a little bit more about them, because there are people who comment to be like, why did you pass on that? It's really not about that. I kind of just pre-pick a player before this so that we can just learn a little bit more about each player in the draft and how they could fit the New York Football Giants. We will do a 7-round mock draft at least once a week. So I'm thinking maybe Saturday or Sunday we'll do one. We'll do one at least once a week so that we can learn a little bit more about the back end of the class, because we're only doing these 3-round mock drafts essentially every day. Okay, so that's that. Those are the rules for this fake mock draft, essentially. So with the 11th pick in the draft, the New York Giants, they're going to take edge rusher Jayson Oweh out of Penn State. This pick, if the Giants did make this pick, it would remind me very much of Jason Pierre-Paul when they took him in the first round back in 2010. I think the Giants are actually pretty good at edge rusher right now. I think nobody agrees with me on that, but I actually think they're pretty good. I think that Zimenez and Carter are going to be really nice players moving forward. And Carter was playing essentially every snap before he got hurt, so I think they view him as a starter. Zimenez, I think he will see you'll see his snaps continue to go up. He was hurt last year, as was Carter. So you didn't get to see too much of Zimenez, but I think he's going to be a good player. You look at his rookie season, 4.5 sacks. He didn't miss a single tackle. So he played well against the run. He rushed the passer fairly well, decent amount of pressures, and the amount of snaps that he played. I like both of them. I think that they're going to be solid starters. Look, not everybody needs to be Lawrence Taylor or Khalil Mack or Von Miller. If Lorenzo Carter's a guy who can, if both of those guys can average 8 sacks and 28, 30 quarterback pressures, you got 2 really good pass rushers, 2 really good edge rushers, and you're good to go. But I think if they went in this direction and they took Jayson Oweh, it reminds me very much of Jason Pierre-Paul. Physically, this guy's gifted. This guy had a 4.36 40 at his pro day. Crazy for an edge rusher. A little over 250 pounds. He's not as big in terms of weight as Pierre-Paul was. He's a little bit thinner when Pierre-Paul was drafted. So a player like Jayson Oweh, I think he really fits what the Giants would need. They don't need him to step up right away and be a full-time starter. I think that they can kind of mix and match him for the situation and just utilize his skill set. He's obviously a freak athlete. Special traits when it comes to rushing the passer. And as they say over here, somewhere ultra lean and long. He's only a little over 250 pounds. They could just essentially use him situationally as a pass rusher. They don't have to worry about him stepping in day one and being the starter and playing 90% of the snaps. He could play 50% of snaps. And they could just use him here or there and best utilize his skill set in year one, which is kind of what they did with Pierre-Paul. They didn't throw Pierre-Paul right into the fire because they had O.C. Umenyiora, they had Justin Tuck, so they had some bona fide veteran players where Pierre-Paul can kind of settle in. So I think that's what could happen here if they take Jayson Oweh in the first round. Maybe some people think it's a bit of a reach. I think I used that word in a recent mock draft. I don't like using that word because everybody looks at players differently. Maybe the Giants watched Oweh and they're like, wow, that guy's a stud. Like, that guy's a top 10 talent, and we can get him at 11. We're going to take him. Who knows what they're thinking? Okay, who knows what other teams are thinking? There's going to be teams that value certain players higher than others, and who's to say whose draft board is better. We will have to see, right? They have to play the games. So, that's that. Okay, we are in the second round, and there's a player. The Giants have to take this player. I think if this guy's in the second round, and if you like football, you like the old school football kind of guy, Nick Bolton, the linebacker from Missouri, just YouTube him. Put him on YouTube, search his name, and watch his highlights. The guy's just laying people out. He's just absolutely left and right. He's taking people to the ground. I mean, he's just stopping people stone cold in their tracks. This guy is a fun guy to watch. A pure football player. It just reminds me of an old school, like, middle linebacker. Like a Ray Lewis kind of guy. Not as good. But I think this is a guy who you kind of read his report and you're like, all right, you know, physically maybe not great. And I do like linebackers who can cover. I like that linebackers who have top-notch coverage skills, cover a running back, cover a tight end. But I'm going to make the exception here. I don't care. This guy is a stud. This guy's just running around the field. He's hitting people left and right. He just has, there's a certain instinct. He has a certain awareness when it comes to football. I'm just telling you guys, go on YouTube and search his name. Watch his highlights. I was impressed. Yeah, okay. I don't care if they have Blake Martinez. This would be a really nice pick for the Giants. We're in the third round, and we're going to go on the defensive side of the ball yet again, and we're going to take Osa Odighizuwa, brother of former Giant, Oweh Odighizuwa. That didn't turn out too well for the Giants, but we're going to try again here. We're going to see if Osa can perform a little bit better than what his brother offered the New York Giants. Kind of a weird size for an interior defensive lineman, 6'2", 279, just an odd size. So kind of undersized for the position that he plays, but known to be a good run defender. And as they say, coming along as a pass rusher, can move around different alignments. So it gives the Giants some flexibility, which is what they like. They like a player who can be versatile, who can move around, who can do different things. And I think at some point, the Giants will probably have to take an interior defensive lineman in this draft. Dalvin Tomlinson is gone. They have B.J. Hill, but B.J. Hill, crazy enough, he is in the final year of his rookie deal. So at some point, they're going to have to add another defensive tackle. I think the third round is a nice round to go ahead and do that. Take a player like Osa, who there's speed, there's explosiveness, and look at this. Where is it right here? Off-ball reps in 2019. So that's interesting. So he's definitely a good athlete. Explosive speed, plays the run well, can move around. I think if he can add a little bit more weight, he offers the Giants a pretty interesting option on their defensive line. So that's it for the mock draft. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, or dislike, whatever you feel. We'll have another mock draft probably tomorrow, and then a 7-round mock draft probably Saturday.